What's happening? This is the Tap In Podcast. We are live inside of the Tap In studio. Man, I got a special guest, man. All the way from A-Town, right?
Yeah, the ag right here.
Yeah. My boy Joseph, what's up, man?
What's going on, man?
Chilling, man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you for tapping in with us.
No, I appreciate you for having me.
Yes, sir,
for sure,
man.
For sure.
It's not every day or every pod that I get somebody that's from Arlington in the building. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, this home base. Yep.
Man, so I want to start from the beginning, man.
Let's do it.
Born and raised in Arlington?
Yeah, born and raised in Arlington.
Really?
For sure. Yep.
Okay. What high school did you go to?
I went to Timberview.
Timberview. Okay.
Yeah, so it's Mansfield ISD district, but you know the high school's in Arlington, and so I grew up on the south side.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was Arlington What was Arlington like back then when you was in high school?
In my era.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, and it's so funny because my next album is about this time period. But I don't know if you're familiar with the Agtown Fight tapes.
No.
You've never heard of that?
Never.
Okay. You laugh. No.
I was raised in Arlington.
Okay.
Okay, so she knows.
Okay.
So that's the era I grew up in, right? So,
what is that for people who don't know?
For people who don't know, Agtown Fights kind of started what like the World Star era of like fights being recorded and going like viral, right? So we had what they labeled as like a fight club going on with teenagers, you know, some like youthful gang stuff, like, you know, high schools fighting, beefing, that type of stuff. But you know, it was recorded, and you know, I'm gonna keep his name out of it just because he's doing great now. But
Don't tell me. I think I know who you're talking about.
you might know, but he, you know what I'm saying. And he would record them, not setting them up or no goofy stuff like that, but he would record them just as they happen. And it was really like a documentary for real. He just like recording what's going on in the city, and it went so crazy.
Is it Say Cheese?
No. But see, Cotton was around then though.
Oh, okay.
Right? So Cotton was definitely around then. This predates Say Cheese though.
Oh,
this
okay.
is 05, 06, 07.
Okay.
Right? And so yeah, you know, and guys like B Hamp, Digi Norm, a dude by the name of John Jay, all of these artists were on the tape, like as far as music wise, and so that gave birth to them making music like before the Ricky Bobbies and stuff like that. They were making like real rap songs, like street type of rap, like turned up rap, like. And so that's the era I came up in, where it was kind of wild on the south side, or just in Arlington in general. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Most people don't know. Well, I mean, if you're from here, you know, like the stadium used to be like, it was a no-fly zone for a while for like, yeah, because that was like, you know, you congregate there, and then people would come because we're the center of the Metroplex. Like, we kind of are the central of culture in the DFW. Like, a lot of things started here first, like whether it's the way we dress or the way, like, dancing. Like, a lot of that stuff started in Arlington first.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just went to the stadium last night.
Yeah. That used to be the spot. Super Sundays. If
Really?
you know. Absolutely.
Oh, man.
Yeah. They used to, Venice Beach. Like, people, like.
What's Venice Beach?
So it was a teen club, right? So before teen clubs got banned, we had 3 or 4 of them in Arlington. With the stadium, we used to have Super Sundays. We didn't have school on Monday, we would have a Super Sunday. And all type of art, Soulja Boy, like all the young artists would come there, and that's where they would, like, a lot of these records would get broke, like
Really?
Pretty Ricky, like they were at Venice Beach. Boosie used to come to the teen clubs way back early, like all of this stuff.
What? Who was it? Who was putting all this together? Do you know?
I can't even tell you who.
You don't know?
No, I can't even tell you who. It was just happening.
Really?
And so it's, you know, it was just, that was the culture we grew up in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. To me, as an outsider, right? I just moved to Arlington maybe 6 years ago, right?
Okay.
So to me, Arlington seems such like a family place.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where it's so nice. And even before I even moved to Arlington, I went to PV, right?
Okay.
And so my homeboy grew up in Arlington. He went to Kennedale High School.
Okay, but see, that's like West Arlington, so that's like
Oh, okay.
out of the way.
Okay,
That's
okay,
like, they ain't in
okay.
the mix of nothing over there.
Okay,
Like,
okay.
yeah.
So even when I was coming, like doing little breaks in school,
Yeah.
I would come to Arlington with him to chill for maybe if it was like a short holiday.
Yeah.
And he used to tell me like Arlington don't have any buses or any because the people in Arlington didn't want like homeless people or anything to
Right.
come around. So I'm just thinking Arlington is a family,
Yeah.
really family-centered place, you know what I mean, besides like Fort Worth or Dallas.
Yeah, and essentially it is, right? So what makes Arlington so unique is the tourist attractions, especially now with what the entertainment districts become. But even back then, it was still that, because you still had the Rangers, you know what I'm saying? You still had UTA, like, so it's a lot of stuff to do here. The malls, like, you know, before there was a bunch of luxury malls everywhere, it was like when the Parks Mall opened, that was like the mall to go to. And so you have all of that, and like I said, you have GM. So, like, my parents ain't from here. My dad is from LA. My mom is from Virginia. You know, they met here, you know, and that's how we got here. But all of my homies are like that, too, to where none of their parents are from here, or maybe not even them, but they grew up here because of they got moved in for a job, or they left California because of the, you know, the cost of living there versus the cost of living here. Friends from Detroit, Baltimore, all of that, and their parents worked at GM. And, you know, you make more on the East Coast or West Coast versus, like, you know, in the South. And so they take their salary and they bring it down here. They get something crazy on the South side.
Right.
But the mentality don't change. You know what they say, you take a person out the hood, but you can't take the hood out the person.
Yeah.
So you bringing all these people into one area, like one city. And so, you know, that's how, that's how you get, like, moments like pockets like that where it got really wild for a time. And, you know, the laws had to catch up, and, like, they had to shift in how they were doing things. So, yeah.
And you know what's so crazy now is I lived here 6 years, and every now and then I go on my patio and just smoke me a cigar, chill, and then randomly you just hear pop, 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 pop. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, what the hell is going on over here?
Yeah.
I thought I was in like a little chill suburb, you know what I'm saying, of Dallas, but it do go down. I always just hear it, you know what I'm saying, in the air.
And essentially it's a beautiful place. I love my city so much. But, you know, the natural, you know, as people get pushed out of what is Dallas, what is Fort Worth due to gentrification, like, they got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And so this is like a place that a lot of people are coming. And, you know, that doesn't change. Just because you change cities, that don't change the person or change who you are. And so, you know, a lot of that stuff comes in, it bleeds into the city, you know, it bleeds into the ag. And so, you know, while it is like phenomenal place, great schools, great all that, like, you still deal with the same stuff you would deal with in a, you know, like in a different, you know, a different city.
Yeah. And I heard you mention your pops is from LA.
Yep.
Do you still got family there?
All my whole family is there.
Really?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
So I literally have no blood relatives in Texas.
Really?
Yeah. Like, all of them on my dad's side, and he's number 13 of 16.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I got a big family on my dad's side, and then my mom, like, she's from a small town in Virginia.
Okay. Because that touches me, because I'm from LA. Like, born and raised.
What part?
So I grew up on the east side of LA.
Okay.
On Palmer Lee. Then we moved to Westchester. Then we moved to San Pedro. So I'm all over in the mix. You know what I'm saying? I went to Crenshaw High School. Went to Russell Elementary.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, born and raised for real. Yeah. So my dad went to Manual Arts. He grew up in, like, essentially in the 50s, like the Hoovers.
Yeah.
Like, he grew up over there. And so, yeah, that's where he's from.
He never got caught up in, like, no gang shit, or was he a part of the Hoovers?
Yeah, well, so my dad is born in 61, right? So he graduated high school 79. So he kind of predates what is gangbanging now. But my uncle, who was, like, he was the guy, like, that was really from the family that was, like, really in it. He was a part of the Hoovers before they became Crips. So he was, like, what they were known as the Hoover Groovers. So he was a part of that. And then that's when, you know, Tookie, Raymond, Watch, all them, they came, and that's when they linked up, and everybody was turning Crip back then, you know, and so that's when it became the Hoover Gangsta Crips, like.
Yeah. How does it feel from you, like, from, I guess you born in Texas and you go back and you see all your cousins?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, because I know when I was coming up, it was like second nature for being from a gang, you know what I'm saying? Because it was like, somebody I went to elementary with, we hung out every day, you know what I'm saying? Then once you get into, like, that middle school, and then maybe his older brother is from a gang, and so it's like, yeah, that's my boy. And if he claiming something, shit, I ain't gonna not claim it.
Yeah.
You know, even if I'm not from there, you know what I'm saying?
100%.
How does that make you feel, like, you going back and you seeing, like, your family? Because I don't know if they are part of it or not.
Yeah.
But just to see that element of them, how does that make you feel?
So, like, I don't have any, I think it's only like 2 or 3 boy cousins.
Oh, okay.
So it's not many of us, but it's a bunch of girls, right? And so none of the younger boys got into it, and obviously we didn't live there. So when we would go back, like, you just notice little things, like we could never play in the front yard. You know what I'm saying? 8, 9, 10. We can never play in the front yard. for God knows what, whatever reason, when we kids, we like, why we gotta be back here? We used to being in the front yard, like here. And it didn't dawn on me until I got older. And then my trip as a teenager, I went out when I was like 17. I was playing basketball, and I had a tournament in LA. And my uncle, the one I was telling you about, he pulled up, scooped me up, and he like taking me like through LA. And he predates so much of the drama that this joker, like, he's from like Uber, but he like living in the jungles now. Like,
oh Lord.
Exactly. Like, and that's how he always been. He just move around in different places. This was then, but he just kind of telling me about like what he dealt with in his life, right? And so I know what my dad dealt with coming up like in the streets. Like he wasn't necessarily gangbanging, but he was a street dude as far as like during the crack era. Everybody out there was like getting crack money.
Yeah.
And so he was into that. And so he's telling me the other side of how things was going, like from his perspective and being in it in like the whole way, like from the drug dealing to the gangbanging to all of that. And so it really like put something in my mind to be like, and knowing what's going on back home, it's like, yo, you really like would be absolutely nuts for your dad to like move out of that to come here and not take you back into that environment, to like jump off the porch and just do some wild stuff. Like, you're gonna do some dumb stuff. You're out with your homies, you're fighting, you're doing goofy stuff. But as far as like taking penitentiary chances, I was like, nah, I'm cool on that, because that would be a slap in the face to them. They already did that.
Right.
They lived that life. Like, why would I follow suit and do that same thing? That's crazy.
Yeah. When did you start hooping? When did
my whole life.
Really?
Yeah. So that was my dad's thing, right? So he hooped, but he had a full ride to what's that university? It's Santa something, like it's north of LA.
Santa Clara.
It might be it. Something like
Clara,
that.
Santa Barbara. It's a bunch of Santas.
Yeah, I can't remember the name, but he had a full ride. But around the time his homie, that's when crack hit 79, 80, and they getting money. He like, I'm cool. He goes back home, and so when he had me, he was like, yeah, this is your thing that you're gonna do. And so he put the ball in my hand early, and so I played all through high school, went to college, like all of that.
Where'd you go to college?
I went to a junior college first called Jacksonville College, and I went and played in Missouri at a school called Evangel University.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can you hoop? Can you go?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, that's like literally that's what I did. That was like all I did before the music. It was, it was just
hooping.
Straight hooping. Like,
really? Did you play with anybody that's like in the league now?
Yeah, absolutely. Like off the top, Jordan Clarkson.
Oh, okay.
Like, he was like my homie, like roommates at elite camps, all of that stuff. Like,
really?
Yeah, he was my homie back then. He probably, I don't know if you remember, because that's 12 years ago now.
Yeah.
But Jordan Clarkson, I got a bunch of homies overseas. I'm sure some other dude. I hooped against Marcus Smart when he was for the Celtics. Like, when he was here. Julius Randle, like, yeah, all the dudes from Dallas, like, who are in their 20s, like mid-20s, like early 30s.
Okay.
Yeah.
I used to hoop too. Like, that was my thing.
Yeah,
like, I just knew I was going to the league.
Nah, I promise you. I promise you. You
knew I was going to the league, man. I just knew it. Or if not, I was going to be getting paid playing basketball. That was,
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Who are some of the dudes that I played against? Baron Davis.
Ooh, so you came in that era?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that era of LA basketball. Yeah.
Played against Baron, Tayshaun Prince.
Did you go against that Dominguez team? Yeah, that Dominguez
Tyson.
team?
Yeah. So we played them in the MLK tournament at UCLA. I think it was my junior year we played them.
Yeah.
Dominguez was nasty.
Yeah.
Man, they was nasty. They killed they kicked our ass.
Yeah.
It was a big game, Crenshaw versus Dominguez.
Yeah.
They whooped our ass in the tournament. And then, they kicked our ass. I forgot they had Tayshaun and do you remember, dang, what was the dude name? He played basketball and football. I know he's older than you, but his name was Jason Thomas.
Jason Thomas. It sounds familiar.
They had Jason Thomas, and then they had what was the point guard name?
Did you have Gilbert Arenas? I know he's from the Valley, but did you?
So Gilbert is younger than me, right?
Okay.
So we played him in a playoff game. He had 40 on us, but we beat their team by 20. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Gilbert, and I think Gilbert was either a sophomore or junior then.
Yeah.
That nigga was nice.
Yeah, man, LA
He was-
ball back then.
he
That's
was
when it
nice.
like really like it
Yeah.
took that.
He had 40 on us, but we killed them.
Yeah,
you know
Trevor
what I'm saying?
Reza, did y'all get some? Or was he later?
Trevor, because Trevor went to Westchester, or he did go to Dominguez.
No, he didn't go to Dominguez.
So I don't think I played against him.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I played against him. We played against not Toby Bailey. Damn, what's the other light skinned dude name? He was recently a coach at USC, and they got caught for some kind of gambling thing.
Yeah.
I forget his name. But we played them at they went for Westchester, and they played against Westchester. When he played at Westchester, dang, I can't remember his name. He was light skinned nigga with a curly top. I remember. I remember. Yes, I remember. Dang, I can't remember his name right now. But they had a squad too at Westchester. We lost to them my senior year. I cried like a motherfucking baby, man.
Oh man. Yeah.
Man. Dang, I cried like a baby playing against them. That was my senior year, and the year before we just won state. We beat Lil Gary Payton.
Yeah.
We played them in my junior year in the state, and we beat them to win state. Yeah,
Wow. Man, that's crazy.
yeah, man.
That's
God
crazy.
dang, that take me back, man. When the last time you hooped?
Well, we actually we played in a Cosign magazine put on a tournament. Yeah, and we was in that. So that was the last time
I just went to. They had a little open run thing.
Yeah.
Thursday. I just went to.
Oh, you was there?
Yeah.
Okay, so they had an actual tournament before that. Yeah, and so we was the home team was in there.
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah.
That's the last time.
Yeah.
Or do you hoop on a regular?
Nah, I ain't got time. I got kids,
Yeah.
wife. Like I ain't got time. So my son plays baseball.
Okay.
So that's where most of the, if we doing something athletic, is going to that.
Yeah.
I would love to hoop more, but like
Just ain't got the time.
just ain't got the time.
Man, I'm telling you, I went Thursday. My knees are still swole, man. My knees are still swole from hooping, man.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
okay. When you went, cause you were in Missouri, right?
Yeah.
And was that like a culture shock moving from there to?
Oh man.
From
talking
Arlington?
about- Yeah, it was crazy because you go from first going to Jacksonville, so East Texas, like it's right outside of 20 miles outside of Tyler. And
Okay.
that's a town of 14,000 people. So going from that, which is just 2 hours away, and it's a whole different world. It's like trees. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying we don't got trees, but it's like trees everywhere.
Yeah.
It's different. You seeing people with like land. It's like, horses and cows and stuff. Like, I mean, what you can see in the Metroplex, once you get towards the outskirts, but like when you're a teenager, you ain't leaving your city for real. Like,
Right.
not like that.
Right.
So that was the first culture shock. But then going to Missouri and being like, yo, it's like nothing but white people here. It's like 80% white and then 20% whoever else is there. So it was a huge like walking into Walmart and everybody like
Looking
it's
at you like
looking
that?
at you. Yeah, because they like,
Wow.
and then my wife is Puerto Rican, so they really looking at her like, okay, what are you?
Yeah.
You don't look, because there's like, it's Hispanics up there, Mexicans, but it's no, you know what I'm saying? It's no Puerto Ricans. Like,
Yeah.
So they looking at her like, what? Like, you look Spanish, but I don't know. And so that was the first, like, it was a real culture shock, but it was good. It made me well-rounded, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, how did that affect your music? Like, I mean, because you have so many different like pockets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Of different life. How does that affect your music?
Man, I feel like all great artists, right? There's a common theme in their art is like they just well-rounded. They've had a bunch of experiences and they love a bunch of different types of music, right? And so moving there, I only really listen to like hip hop, R&B, black music essentially, which all music is, black music, but like what we classify in this modern era as black music, so R&B, soul, hip hop, neo soul, all that stuff. But when I moved up there, like my palette began to change, and so because my teammates are playing different stuff, like so I'm starting to like really pay attention to like pop punk music, so like Blink-182, stuff like that, Nirvana. For the first time, I'm really tapping in, and the way I listen is I'm gonna listen, but I need to go see an interview. I need to go hear you talk, and then like hearing Kurt Cobain, like his interviews for the first time, and going to study like Steven Tyler from Aerosmith, Freddie Mercury from Queen, like so it just opened up my palette, and like jazz. Like I wasn't into jazz. I liked the way jazz made me feel, but I wasn't into it. And so up there, it made me start learning about, because I started gaining musician friends, and I wanted to understand like what they heard when they were playing stuff. And so I'm studying Miles, I'm studying Coltrane, I'm studying Theophilus Monk, if I said his name wrong. Forgive me, jazz community, I might have messed it up. But like I'm studying all of them, and so it just like it opened up my palette, even to the world, like to like EDM. I love like UK EDM because they be on there like singing, but the beat is just 4 on the floor, doom, 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 doom. But they're like singing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I love all that stuff, but being there opened me up to that, because it's like, you know, that's the one thing we say about white people. They not biased when it come to music. If it's good, it's good. They don't care what it is. Like they not like, man, that's white boy, man, that's his man. Like they don't care. If it's good, it's good.
Yeah.
You know? And so that's being up there opened me up like that.
Wait, when did you start doing music once you got there?
So I started doing music in Jacksonville. So yeah, when I moved, my freshman year is when I started. I wrote my first like rap for real, and I always wanted to do music. I made my first beat at 13, but ball consumed my life, so there was no time to like learn the disciplines of like what it even took to make music. So I just wrote. I always wrote like poems and stuff like that. And I did a poem at a talent show in Jacksonville, and this random little Mexican girl, she came up to me after. She was like, "That was so good. You should like rap." And I was like, girl, I'm going to the league. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to the league.
Yeah.
Like, this is before like rapping was cool. Everybody was trying to be a rapper. This is 2010. I'm like, I really hoop. I do this for real. Like, you know, but it just stuck with me. It was just stuck with me. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna try it. So I tried it, loved it, put out a song. Some people liked it on Facebook. I was like, and then it just, from there, you know, I got one of them personalities where it's like, once the flame is like lit, all right, let's go. And it just like, you know, been on the journey since.
That was at 13? Or that you talking about that when you was in Jacksonville?
Nah, so yeah, that was when I was in Jacksonville. So 13 was when I watched Hustle and Flow, and when I saw how they made that beat, I was like, hold on, man. I want to do that. I got a homie up the street with a keyboard. Like, I'm about to go do that. And so I went and like figured out my way to like replicate the beat, like the you know, the three, because it wasn't nothing but 3 notes and a 808 and some drums. Like, it was nothing to it. But it was just like the fact that that process did something to, like, seeing it was like, whoa, I want to go do that. And so that's what it was. And then I wouldn't do anything with music for real again until I was like 18, 19.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And so the Mexican girl.
Yeah, she just like, yeah, you should try rapping now.
Do you remember the first song that you put on Facebook?
Absolutely.
What? You got any bars from there?
No. Hey, no, I don't. I got no bars from that. Absolutely not.
Man, that is super dope. And so when did that switch hit where you was like, you know what? I'm finna go all in. This is finna be my career going forward.
Honestly, man, I got like, because I gave bars so much by my sophomore year, the next year, I was like, especially being at a JUCO, like if you know anything about that JUCO grind, it's different. Like, you broke, but you got class, you in the middle of nowhere, and it's like it ain't the university perks. So you ain't getting the gear, you ain't getting the, you know what I'm saying? And like our dorms literally look like the projects. Like legit, like they look like the projects. Like you would never think like, oh look, that's some nice dorms. No, like I'm talking about air conditioner in the window. Like it looked like the Jets, and so that's the type of living we was in. I was kind of like over it by my sophomore year, and I was like, you know, this is what I really, really want to do. I want to pursue this music thing. Probably a little arrogant too with it, but like just being like, oh, it ain't gonna take me no time to get on type of thing, you know. But yeah, that's where it all kind of started.
Man, okay. And then from that point, you just start making beats on your own, or you just start going out to find beats to rap on, or what was that like process?
So I feel like it's the same. Like any producer, like they'll say the same thing. It's like you looking at first because you want to rap, but then you realize like, oh shoot, nobody about to just like give me beats. I got to figure this out. And so that's what I did. Like my wife had bought me, by this time I got married young. I got married at 20. So we met in Jacksonville. Yeah, I got married at 20. And when we moved to Missouri, I was like, I need to learn how to make beats, because I can't sit around here like waiting for people to like give me beats. Like I'm not that type of guy. And so I started looking up like how people made beats, and that's when I learned about like the MPC. And I saw like all my favorite producers in their beat making videos had some form of the MPC. RZA, Kanye, Jermaine Dupri, all of them. I was like, okay, I need to get an MPC. And they had just came out with this little one called the MPC Studio, and it was like the first digital one that they made, and it was like $500, $700. And so we went and got it. Like my wife went and got it for me, and that's when I started making beats. So that's 2012, 2013. Yeah.
Golly. That music grind is something different, man.
No, it is.
It's something different.
It is. And it was, what was hard for me about it was like, cause initially, so I went through like a really hard period from like 2014 to like 2016, where after ball ended, like my whole life had been wrapped up in this thing. And a lot of like athletes deal with this, to where you've done one thing your entire life and then a buzzer rings and it's over and you like, all right, what now? I kind of knew what I wanted to do, but it was like, but I got to start all over again, because I've worked for 20 years playing ball, and now it's just over. And I like got really depressed. This is before I even knew, like, you know what I'm saying, this is like before the mental health push, the like all of that. So I didn't even know I was depressed, but I was just like, I was just down bad. And then on top of like thinking, yo, why hasn't it happened yet? You know what I'm saying? Not understanding like, yo, it takes at least, it's going to take a bottom line of like a decade anyways. Like for the greats, at least it did. You know, they say it takes 10 years to be overnight success.
Yeah.
And so I had no clue about that. So I'm dealing with like all of these emotions, but it forced me like, to just learn the discipline of what it really takes to be like a real artist, not just like a rapper, but like a real artist. You know what I'm saying? Who can craft timeless things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I seen somewhere, I think on an interview, that you and your wife or you and your family almost got separated because of you poured so much time into music.
Yeah, we got divorced. Like, yeah, absolutely. Like, so we legit separated. I was still in Missouri. Stuff was like moving, going in a great direction. Up there, I became like a big fish in a small pond. And then, but my home life was a mess. Like, I'm talking about like just a mess. Not that we was like, we never did like a bunch of the like yelling, fussing, and cussing, but it just went silent. You know what I'm saying? It was like there was no talking, nothing. And then like, she was just like, yo, I'm over this. And I'm like, the arrogance, like, well, fine, like type of thing. And so I let her walk out, which was like the worst decision like I ever made in my life. And so just doing that process, like, being alone, like people scattering, when stuff wasn't going on, because everybody wanted to be around when like, we got shows, we downtown in the middle of the, city, like doing shows, 500, 600, we doing big theaters, like all of that stuff, New Year's Eve show, all that, everybody around. But then when it wasn't nothing, I noticed like, oh shoot, like nobody's here at the house, it's just me in this house with my little dog. Oh, okay. And so, man, I just, I moved back. I moved back and I started doing the work on myself. And then pandemic hit, by the grace of God, like we was able to, figure it out from there. But it was
I had to.
Yeah, well, not even. We weren't together. We were divorced by then.
But y'all was in separate houses and everything?
Houses and everything.
Oh, dang.
So she left 2018, June 2018, and we didn't like start working on our, like, we got divorced 2019. In 2020, we got a son, so we got to stay in communication. So 2020, like right before the pandemic, it's like February, like right before the pandemic, we had just a hard conversation, and she was like, yo, why can't we figure this out? She never gave up on me. Like, she just never gave up on me. She was like, nah, we put too much into this to just give, like, she let me, like, she gave me the space. And, that was able to, like, allow God to just work on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, me work on me, God work on me. And then, we were able to get it right.
Yeah. That's dope, man. I always like to see, like, dudes that have a solid foundation but behind them, you know what I mean? That you can see why they are successful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, even, like, with my favorite rapper, Nip, right? I feel like once Lauren came in the picture,
It changed everything.
it changed everything for him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I really think that that foundation of a strong woman or just a good woman,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, in your corner is pivotal for you. Because now you so focused on what you got to do.
Yeah.
You ain't got time to be fucking off with your friends, with other chicks.
real.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's
absolutely.
like, I got to get this shit done because I got to get back to the crib.
Yeah.
And you more focused. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
My wife got me reading this book, man. I think it's slowly changing me.
Yeah.
It's called Cry Like a Man.
Oh man,
You
shout
read
out
that?
No, but you know, I'm going to get that book this week now because you said it. So I love Mr. Jason Wilson. Is
Yes,
his name?
yes.
I listen to his interviews. I watch it, like all of his. I love that book or him. I haven't read the book, but I thought about it the other day. I was driving
Really?
home. I was like, man, I need to go get that book. I haven't like had a book that I was just reading like that in a minute. I was like, I need to go get that one. And so you saying it is a
Man.
confirmation. I gotta go get it.
I've
now.
never heard of the guy, never know his background. My wife was like, she heard this on the interview. She was like, you should read this. And every night I like to read, you know what I mean? As a kid, I didn't read that much, you know what I'm saying? I was always just hooping. But now as an adult, I'm like, I need to start reading more. And she was just like, here, this is a good book I heard about.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, I've been glued,
Ooh,
just
for real?
reading. Yes,
Oh,
man.
I gotta get it.
I'm just like, who is this dude?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I definitely, if I can, definitely want to have you on the podcast, Mr. Jason Wilson. But I was like, are you talking about going through something?
Yeah.
Man, he done been through everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm on the section where him talking about going from music, because he was he was a DJ at one point, and now him still pursuing music, but they got a child and he got a wife, and him just trying to figure that whole thing out. I was like, man, he is. It's dope. The book is dope. I recommend it. You know what I'm saying? I recommend it.
Yeah, that was confirmation. I'm going to get it. I gotta go get it now. I have to.
Golly, man. Okay.
Yeah.
So 2020, you and your wife figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all get to a good point, and then you go back into music, or you never stopped?
No,
at that point?
I never stopped. I stopped for like a couple months, right? So I was, when I moved back, I was just like wilding out. Like I'm in the city, I'm just wilding. And there was a moment where I was at my brother's house, and I'm drunk, I'm high, and I'm like slumped in the chair, and I'm like, but I'm conscious in my mind, and I just like, Jay, what are you doing? This ain't even you. Like, what are you doing? And right there, I cut stuff off. I stopped going out, and I just locked in and really started working on myself. So that's like August 2019. And then by the time February comes, I'm like, my faith walk is like back where it needs to be. I'm ready to hear what my wife has, like, not just like listen, but I'm like ready to like really hear what she has to say. And so at that same time, my music is like shifting again, right? So I'm in the house by myself, and I'm just like cooking up, like making beats. I did this thing where I'm gonna make a song a day, whether it comes out or not, but I'm gonna like make a song a day, make the beat, right? Like everything, record it, mix it, everything. And so I'm in that process, and as I'm doing it, like I'm being changed by the stuff I'm listening to, like what I'm reading. I was reading a book that I actually heard Nip mention called The Way of the Superior Man. Changed my life. That book, and then As a Man Thinketh. I'm reading both of those, and it's like just shaping me in my Bible. Like I'm back in, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm back in church before the pandemic, and it gave way for me to be able to. I created a project called Pray for the Homies, which is like that's my passion project, like my favorite album I've ever done. And it was birthed because of what happened with the pandemic. And it was just like a dope saying I said to myself. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna pray for the homies. So I hopped on IG and I just like said a prayer. I don't even do stuff like that. Like if you go through my IG, I don't put my faith on people. I don't do none of that. But it was just, I felt led to do that, and I did it, and like people like response was crazy, and I just felt God be like, yo, make a song now. And then when I made the song, I put the song out, and it was like, okay, now them songs you've been making, here, take this one, take that one, put them together, and now you got to pray for the homies. And so I put that out. And by that time, me and my wife were like actively like really working on on getting back together on our friendship first. We were working on being friends.
Mm-hmm.
And it went from there. And then a couple months later, I made what a lot of people consider my best project, Focus Your Aim, Empty the Clip. Yeah. And so, I did 2
That's
albums.
That's a dope title, man.
Yeah. It came from The Punisher. The show.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's like a Marvel show. But the Punisher character, like his energy, he was like getting revenge for like somebody killed his family. And he was like, and I just tweeted it one day, like, focus your aim, empty the clip. Meaning like, set a goal and go get it. Like until like whenever. You know, and my producer, Leo, Disney Da Vinci now is what he goes by. But he was like, yo, that's an album title. And so we just went to work and knocked it out in 2 weeks. Yeah.
That's fire.
Yeah.
And all your those projects you can find them on
everywhere.
Everywhere?
Yep,
Okay.
all streaming. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Man, that's super dope, man. Would you are you indie? You straight indie right now?
Yeah, I mean we got our own label, so we started our own. Yeah.
Okay.
When Nip, right when Nip, and it's so funny that we in here and bruh's just like right there. So when Nip passed, I was so inspired by just like, and I had been a fan since Killer, that song with him and Drake. That was like my first introduction to Nip.
Okay.
And so I went from there, from the Marathon tape, and been with him since. And when he passed, I just was like, yo, it'd be absolutely crazy, because I was getting courted by a label at that time. I was getting courted by another artist like from the same like era as him to be a part of their label. And stuff just wasn't going. I didn't like the feeling of like sitting around waiting on everything to get done. And so when Nip passed, it was like, yup, how crazy would that be for him to like have lived a life like this, and for me to go do exactly what he was telling us like not to do. That's wild. And so I just had the idea for Home Team Records, and 3 years later, here we are, 4 artists on the label, team, like, yeah.
How long did it take you to build the Home Team? Because I'm gonna tell you, from the perception, you got everything. All your shit looks good, like the camera work, like even the style from the videos, like everything seemed like. And I for me, just knowing, I'm like, okay, he got a solid team around him, because there's no way he's doing all this shit by himself.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. How long did it take you to build all those pieces around?
Man, 3 years. Like from the time. So I had a squad in Missouri, right? But when I moved, I remember my then manager, he was just like a really good friend who I started with. He was a white boy. And he just believed in me early before anybody else did. Like raw talent, he just believed in me. And he like helped shape me and taught me how to like be excellent in the work, right? And so when I moved, he was like, okay, Jay, now the thing you're gonna have to do, right, is you're gonna have to start all over. And I was like, bro, why would I start all over? That's crazy. But I didn't really understand what he meant until like I had to start all over.
Start over doing what though?
The whole team, right? Because everybody I knew was in Missouri, and they wasn't coming down here. Like, they had lives and other things. They were invested in me more than invested in having a career in the business. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
And so moving down here, I had to start all over. And so originally I started the label like it was me, my brother, and my sister. But my sister's a filmmaker, and film was just drawing her like more and more. And so she just moved to Houston, but she's doing like incredible things as far as like women in like falsely incarcerated women, because she was one of them. Like she was falsely incarcerated for 2 years in the feds, and she beat it, and then like came home and made short films and all that stuff. And so she's doing that work and then making films, and so that was pulling her. And then my brother, like, we just had different type of visions we wanted to go with, and so it was just me. And so I put out Pray for the Homies, and other people started being drawn to that by how different it was, and just like my subject matter and what I was talking about. People were relating to it. And so from there, it just started to like grow. People started being tapped in. My DJ and also the president, his name is Swerve. We went to high school together.
I think he was he open?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he lefty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was there Thursday.
He was?
Yeah.
He ain't tell not a soul. So
I think if that was the same person.
that's him.
Okay.
Head,
yeah.
light skin.
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah.
You wild, bro. Swerve. You wrong. You know you supposed to say something. You wrong. Yeah, but that's the president of the label, and we had an idea to start it. And taking it back one more time, in 2010, I just had the idea like, yo, I want to start a label. I was like, I should start it with Swerve, because we would just talk music all the time. And we was like, yo, let's start a label. And we tried. for like a week, and it was like, okay, we like, you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, fast forward, you know, 2020, I was like, okay, let's start rocking together. So he was just DJing at first, and he started doing other stuff. It's like, yo, you really like on some like management type, you know? So he came on like that. And so we just started building. So it's him. And then we keep going. I put out Focus Your Aim, and other people come in. Some left, some stayed. And then a big piece was when I met Chris. We did a Nip tribute, actually, a Nip tribute video over What It Feels Like. And I did a verse over that, and bro pulled up to the video, and he was actually a part of a hat company at first, and we were going to do a hat collab. And he pulled up with such great energy. Like, it was just, I was like, yo, I don't know, but you supposed to do something with us. Like, I don't know. And so we just stayed cool, like, just cool, like, invite him to stuff. He pull up with his fam, like, and it was just, like, great energy. My wife was like, yeah, I like him. And it's like, his wife, they sweet, like, the baby sweet, all that. I'm like, for sure. And so from there, you know, that he was, like, the final piece to really solidify what we were doing. And then I met the artists. One of them, my boy RJ, has been my boy since I moved back. And he's just like he's a fashion designer, but he also makes music, and he's really, really dope at both. And then one of my guys that I work with named Jacob, he came on as like an A&R and engineer. And then he brought into our job, because I work with his family has like audio visual company, and we work together. And he brought in a dude by the name of Oso James. So if you heard Feed the Babies, he's the guy on the hook. And he wasn't even doing music anymore. He had been on tour early, like as a young adult, like touring and doing stuff like that. He was running around with like Lecrae and them early.
Okay.
And super talented. And he had stopped. He was like, yo, I'm over it. Stuff happened. I'm cool. But then I heard him. I was like, there's no way I'm not letting you do music. Like, you are too dope. And so, you know, I talked him into it, and the first thing he did was the hook for Feed the Babies. And so we started building like that. And then he brought his boy by the name of 2-3 Reed, who's a artist he's from Diamond Hill in Fort Worth. And you know, that's how we got the artists. The artists were really the last piece. I had the squad, but the artist was like the last piece to be like, okay, now we have something that can be a movement, which was the goal from the jump. It was to be a movement that the city could like attach themselves to, like a Rockefeller, like a Rough Riders, like a NWA, like a Def Rock. Like, we wanted to do that for here, because I felt like that was the only thing that was missing. It's like, it's all these dope artists, but like, we don't have a thing. It's hard to get attached to a person, but it's easy to get attached to a thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we just started, you know, working like that.
That's what I was telling, you know Eskimo Jake? You heard of him?
No, I don't think so.
He's from north side of Dallas.
Okay.
But I was telling him, I was like, just from outside, I don't feel like like, it's a bunch of artists here that are super dope, but I don't feel like there is like a stamp where the people stamp one person and be like, this is who our person is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's from Dallas.
Yeah.
And he was explaining to me that Dallas is a consumer's city, where if the big artists like the Kanyes and the Drakes, they come in and just throw money, so they get that automatic spot from the radio, from different platforms out here. But I'm like, it's about the people. Like, I don't really see where the people is championing.
I think that's kind of a cop-out, honestly, because there is. Look at every city. There was a time where there was nobody from there. Right. So before there was, you know, obviously New York is the Mecca, so that's a little bit different. But, you know, Chicago, there was Common Sense was first. Like, he was first. And there was a time when there was nobody from Chicago. Atlanta, Miami. You know, like, there's a famous interview from Eazy-E. He was like, you know, I just wanted to put Compton on the map, which started it all.
Right.
Like, but he didn't like just go as like easy. He was on some like, I want to put the city on the map. So I grabbed him, and put them together. Now we got something that we can like get behind. We can get behind Raiders hats, because everybody in LA is wearing a Raiders hat. Like, that's strategic. He could have been like, yo, we only wearing blue.
Right.
He a crib. He could have said that. Like, but nah, he was like, no, here what we're gonna do. We're gonna do black. We're gonna do Raiders hats, LA hats. Like, that's strategic. All right, we doing Yankees hats. We doing Rockaware clothes. We doing the chain. Rough Riders. We doing the double R. We riding bikes. Like, it gotta be like, there has to be thought, like strategy, all money in. Like, you know, it's so many pictures you see Nip or videos, and they like, everybody got an all money in shirt, all money in hat, marathon tee or whatever. Like, you gotta be strategic. And I don't think we've had anybody. And the only reason I have this perspective is because I moved. So when I came back, I asked the same question. I was like, why? What is it like? And then I was like, oh, studying the other places. That's what Outkast, right? Outkast was first in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't just Outkast, it was the Dungeon family. So it was Outkast, it was Goody Mob, it was, Organized Noise, like Future was there. Like it was all of that. It wasn't just like one person. It was the thing. And I think that's what we are focused on doing, is like becoming that thing for this Metroplex. Like not just Dallas, not just Arlington, not just Fort Worth, but for this Metroplex. Like,
Yeah, because now when you saying that, I'm thinking like, even Memphis, like with I can't remember his name, the Yo Gotti.
Yeah.
Just with him, like his whole movement. I remember going to an All-Star, I think it was in Houston, where I seen nothing but Yo Gotti posts. I'm like, who the fuck is Yo Gotti? Like this was like a while ago, you know what I mean? But I was just like, now that you mentioned that, it's like, everybody started where music was not even St. Louis with
Nelly, that was first.
Yeah.
But Nelly wasn't even like the guy at first. It was Saint Lunatics.
Right.
But Nelly just like, he was so phenomenal, so like captivating that, okay, we're going with Nelly first. Like Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang has been like such a huge blueprint for us and like what we're doing. But like they were like a organized like movement together. And they went. It just so happened that Meth was the guy that was like, okay, we're gonna go with Meth first with METHOD, man, and then we gonna do the Mary J record with him. Like, it was a strategy behind it. Everybody's in the hoodies. We on the cover with the mat. Like, it was a strategy, and I just think nobody's taking the time to have that strategy until us.
Home Team Records.
Home Team Records.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Dang, that's what's up, man. And that's good that you got the team around you, man. I think that's what a lot of artists they take for granted. You know what I'm saying? Because like you need a supporting system around you to get this off the ground, man.
Listen, just being real, this almost didn't happen because because I'm thinking this was on Sunday. And he calling me like, yo, bro, like, no, that's today. I'm like, oh, my bad. And and I usually we're like super sharp on stuff like that, but that would have been a miss had it not been for my teammate, right? So just like in ball, like, right, he get by me, I hope I got help back here. Yeah. Like, I hope I got some help. And so the team is just like, it's that crucial.
That's
it
dope,
sucks
man.
doing stuff by yourself.
Yeah, that's
it's not
dope.
fun. You stressed out. Like, it sucks.
That's dope. What's the next project? I know you mentioned it earlier that you gonna drop. What's the one you working on that people should get excited about?
Well, first is a home team compilation.
Okay.
So we doing a home team album. We literally just finished it yesterday, and our first single came out yesterday, "Feed the Babies," which features me, Oso James, and then 2-3 Reed, who are like I said, artists on the label. And so we got that coming. We got a really, really dope event coming that's gonna be like the first of its kind, which y'all are invited to.
Okay.
So but that's what's coming. The home team album, Live with Honor, Die with Respect. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When is the event? Are you making an announcement now?
Not because it's a invite only.
Oh, okay.
Situation.
Okay.
So
bet.
yeah.
That's and I was thinking about this yesterday, and I was watching your you got like an hour documentary, or not even documentary, but it's a live show.
Yeah.
So I was watching that, and I was like, this is dope. This is so dope. And I was thinking the reason why music is not consumed like it was back in the day is because there's no experience that you get. You know what I'm saying?
That's that word.
There's no experience that you get with the music. It's just, hey, I'm gonna just put it out.
Yeah.
And I feel like I was trying to think like, what's some dope ways that people can experience the music where it's not just, hey, go check out my song. You know what I'm saying? I was like, what? This is my thought, and I'm going to give it to y'all for free.
Yeah, I'm going to take it.
Okay. And if you do, let me know, because I edit it out.
You.
Okay. But I was like, what if you could do a music video that could only be consumed via VR?
Oh,
you know what I'm
crazy.
saying?
That's crazy.
Where it's not on, if you watch it on YouTube, it's not the same. But if you watch it on a VR, where you can actually turn and look and see like a 360 view of like a music video.
That's crazy.
I was like, that'll be dope.
Which is coming. I'm sure somebody's done it or on the verge of doing that. That sounds like it's right up the pipeline.
Yes, it's like it's a different way to consume music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you have a 360 view of the whole fucking thing,
no, that's crazy.
That'd
Yeah, it's
be
crazy.
fire.
But it takes, once again, going back to intentionality. Like, I don't know if everybody is. And St. John just said this on the I Am Athlete podcast, and I reposted it.
I like St. John.
Love him. He said, everybody that raps isn't an artist. And he was like, art has intentionality and thought and gravity. And I was like, oh, that's the truth. Because everybody, because of the low entry level that you have to do to be like, there's not much to do to be a rapper. Like, just being real, not anymore, right? There used to be a lot of legwork before you could even get in the studio. You had to do a lot of work. Like, you had to be tight, you had to be skilled, you had to know somebody who could get you to the studio. It was a lot of work that went into it. But now, because of technology, it's taken all of that away, which has taken away the work, the intentionality. And so now, you know what I'm saying, we just don't have that anymore. Some artists still do that, right? But there's so many more rappers than there are like real artists, you know. And it sucks for the artists because like you gotta, whether you feel like you compete with them or not, you are. You know what I'm saying? It's like people gotta sift through all of that to get to what is like something that can actually stand the test of time. You know what I'm saying? And so I think it's just all about intentionality, right? You just gotta care. Right. You know, everybody don't care. Everybody, like, I hate when people talk about art and money in the same conversation. I'm doing it to get some money. Like, that's such a, like, you know what I'm saying? I cannot stand it. Quincy Jones says the moment you talk about money in the studio, God leave the room. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's a hard bar right there.
Like,
yeah.
'cause that's what we do. Bro, creativity is just God's energy flowing through us. That's it.
Yeah.
And you mean to tell me if we bring up a dollar amount that's gonna leave? No way, Jose. I'm cool.
Yeah.
Like, I'm cool.
I'm interested to hear your opinion. What do you think about Kanye?
So, right, I'm from the era. Kanye made me feel. He was the first artist to really make me feel welcome in hip hop because he wasn't necessarily like some hard street guy, right? He was you had Tribe, right? You had Tribe and like Native, like those type of guys, but like Kanye was the one who was like, yo, I really want to dress like that. I like what he's saying, like, cause I love Lauryn Hill and I love soul samples and I love, like, you know, before I knew what it was actually soul samples, I just knew these are stuff my dad listened to. Like, I love that. He was the first person I looked at and was like, okay, I see myself in that, like, for real. I didn't see myself in the West Coast artists I grew up in. Like, I didn't see myself in the Gang. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't see myself as 50 or none of the Dre's artists, Snoop, none of them. But I was like, okay, I see myself in him. So he was the first one I saw. And I was with him heavy, all the way. And like, even like Yeezus has crept up and become like one of my favorite Ye albums, like top 3. But like after that, it kind of started going left with the other foolishness. And I was, which he told us, like he told us on Pinocchio's story, like on 808 Heartbreaks, like, and it happened. You know what I'm saying? Like he's become like the thing he was worried he would become. Like,
what did he say? Cause
just like the person who, you know, surrounded by yes men, like living in a fishbowl, like, you know, yeah. It's. I love him for the inspiration he gave me forever. I can never, like, you know what I'm saying. But now at this point, like, you know, I'm not really like rushing to go check out a Ye album. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. That's just not where I'm at.
Yeah, cause I know for me, I was in the area. I was in the era of baggy clothes, big jeans. You know what I'm saying. I was in that area. So when Kanye came, it was like, the fuck is he doing?
Right.
Like, it was like, come on, Kanye, like, with the pink shirts and you know what I'm saying,
the
and
collar pop, like,
yeah,
backpack,
it was like,
all that,
it was different, you know what I'm saying. It was like, okay, but the way his dang, it's a word that his dang, I can't even think of the word right now, but it was such like, this is who I am. This is what I'm doing.
Hell, the conviction.
Conviction, that's the word. Yes.
Stood on it.
And then I was in college around that time, but when College Dropout came out.
Oh, yeah. So you really feeling it.
Yes. So that's what resonated. And I was like, man, this is the dude right here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like you. I think all the way up until, I don't even know what's the name of the album, but around that time that him and Amber, was it Amber?
Yeah.
And when
My
they
Beautiful
broke
Dark
up.
Fantasy?
Yeah, around that time when they broke up is when I kind of like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm.
See, that's my favorite area.
Really?
Yeah, from like graduation to Yeezus. That's my favorite. Like, those are my favorite like joints.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I love College Dropout. I'll never forget hearing like Through the Wire for the first time.
Man.
Yeah.
I remember leaving class and everybody in our dorm room, like the little middle section, they have it on BET. 106 in Park was playing. Like I remember walking in the door from class and everybody was watching a video, and I was like, this is dope. I was like, who is this? And then to hear the story after that, because I didn't know the story until after the whole video came out, the accident and all that, I was like, man, this is dope. This is super dope. From there I was a fan. You know what I'm saying? And then just recently, after the documentary on Netflix came out, I was like, okay, I kind of changed my tune a little bit with Kanye, but I was like, I don't know what he's going through now, but it's a totally different Kanye. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I felt his rise on the documentary. Have you seen the documentary?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I've seen I love the rise and how just ambitious he was, but I don't know what's going on now, man. I don't know if it's a mental breakdown of him trying to move into a different industry from the wife and kids, but I think he's a creative genius.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
I mean, and it's a fine line between genius and insanity, right? And so I think, to me, Hov is the direct opposite of what Ye became, right? So, like, where Ye is, Hov is like the opposite, meaning, like, look at who's around Hov. It's everybody he started with. Look at who's around Ye. It's not everybody he started with. And so I think when you lose those people who can really hold you accountable, like, you in a, being alone is a tough, like, space to be, just by people who are, like, employed by you. Like, I truly believe, like, Tata don't care about, like, Jay and his money. Like, he'd be like, yo, bruh, like, I know you from the building. Like, quit playing with me. Yeah. You need people like that. You gotta have people to, like, really, like, check, not just call you every now and then, but, like, people who can actually, like, hey, man, that's a no-go. That's some clown behavior. Like, you gotta have people like that, especially in a business like this and living in a fishbowl.
I think Kanye has that in Jay though. But
Jay ain't dealing with his foolishness. He got kids. He got twins.
That's what I'm saying though.
He gotta be honest. He ain't dealing with none of his foolishness.
I know, but I've been saying, but Jay is the person who can do that to Kanye. Or even Dame.
I don't know. Dame ain't wasting his time neither. He go do whatever he want to do. He a grown man. Like, at the end of the day, he a grown man. And I think at a certain level, you just like, yo, it's just, I'm talking to a broken record at this. Like, I sound like a broken record now because you're not listening. You gonna do what you want to do. Like, you talking to me for what? like why am I even telling you, like, yo, bro, don't do that? And then you do it, and then it's like, and then you do it again, and then it's really like.
But here's the thing also on Kanye's side, right? To just play devil's advocate, everything people told Kanye not to do, he's done it, and it became a big deal, and he's won.
Which I think
with
is
it.
working against him now.
Yeah.
In his life, because he's always looking for some opposition. Yeah. Right? Like, for what? Why are you looking for opposition?
Yeah. Like, that's his energy. That's where he gets his
drive from.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. I mean, we watched the Jordan documentary. Jordan said, and I took offense to that. You know what I'm saying? He making stuff up in his head. Like, it's you know what I'm saying? Which I get. I get that. But it's like, at some point, you got to have somebody who can, like, pull in the reins, which a lot of times is your wife. For real. Like, if we being real, that's your wife. Your wife is the one to, like, pull the reins back, and I don't know if, like, you really gonna listen to Kim pull the reins back like that.
Yeah,
okay. No, you know what I'm saying? No disrespect. I just don't know. I don't know in his situation, but that's to me, that's the person like who really gonna like check you for real. Like,
Yeah.
well, I don't care about none of this stuff.
And I think for Kanye, it was his mom.
It was his mom.
Yeah,
It
you know
was
what I'm
his
saying?
mom.
It was
Yeah.
his mom, and
Yeah.
then once that rock is gone, he's just gone.
It's tough.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's tough. It's tough.
man.
That doc got hard to watch. Them last couple episodes, man,
Yeah.
that was hard to watch.
Yeah,
It was hard to see how he treated people like who loved him. Like, that was super hard to watch. And that's a scary thing. Like, I never want to, you know, man, you know what I'm saying? Knowing what me and my wife went through, it's like, yo, I don't want to.
would you want to be that famous, that successful?
Yeah, I don't know, right? Every artist want to be loved for their art, but I don't know. I don't know. We could say yeah, no, but like until you there, you really don't know what it feels like. You know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just at this moment right now, I just want to keep creating things that matter to people. Like I want to create art that somebody can be like, yo, I can live to this, and this matters to me, and this impacts me. Like that's what I want to do. You know, whether that takes me to the top or the wherever. Like, you know, I'm gonna always be an artist. This is who I've been my whole life. You know,
Yeah.
so that's kind of my thing. Yeah.
That's what's up, man. Okay, so the home team compilation that's already out.
Not out yet.
When can people expect that?
Next Friday.
Next Friday.
Next Friday.
Okay.
Oh, I'm
Next-
sorry. Next Saturday because it's coming with the event. My bad.
Okay. Next Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Feed the Babies, our lead single is out right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
on all streaming platforms.
All streaming platforms, and we got something coming on Tuesday too.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what's up, man.
Yeah, I'll show you too when we get off here.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
man. Joseph, appreciate you tapping in with me, man.
Nah, it's a pleasure. This was
Yeah,
dope.
yeah.
It was a good time.
Yo, man, make sure y'all follow Joseph in his movement. Leave your social, man, so people can follow you.
For sure, man. Y'all can follow me on IG at THA_vibrant. HomeTeamRecords.com. I'm trying to think what else. So TikTok. At
Okay.
The Vibrant. Same thing as my IG. Yeah, that's where, you know what I'm saying, you can find me.
Okay, that's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Yo, man, thank y'all for tapping in, man. This has been the Tap In Podcast. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. The Home Team Records, man. Y'all holla at y'all. Gone.